Okay, this is the turquoise ribbon, supposed to be a burlap ribbon wreath class. We had a couple of setbacks with this class, and basically the reason for that is because I told everybody to buy unwired ribbon, burlap ribbon, and I found out that it wasn't going to work for this wreath. So we had to postpone it. I had to order more ribbon. The best type of ribbon to use for this wreath, and you're going to see why in a minute when I show you how to do it, is wired 1.5-inch ribbon. Okay. You can use burlap because I'm thinking about it now, and the burlap ribbon in the picture in the wreath, I don't think it's really burlap because burlap is a lot thicker. So I would recommend, if you're going to make this wreath, definitely use 1.5-inch. And like I said, again, I'll show you why. A satin ribbon would be fine. You could try burlap. I'm not quite sure if it'll work. And like I said, again, I'll show you why I don't think it's going to work in a minute when we get started. So it's been postponed a couple of times, but I think now everybody's got what they need to have to get this done. I'm going to tell you right now, we're probably not going to finish in class because it's one of those things that's a little bit time consuming. It's not like a mesh wreath where you just tie all your mesh on and put your ribbon on and then you're done. First, I'm going to show you the ribbon that I ended up getting. I didn't do turquoise again because I'm going to get my chair over here, because I did the bubble burlap wreath in turquoise. So I kind of wanted to get something different. So I found this on eBay, and it's a paisley ribbon. I thought it was really pretty. And it's 1.5-inch, and it's wired. It's actually Sam's Club ribbon, and I got it on eBay for I think like $10 with free shipping. The only problem is, I don't know why I'm blue. The only problem is it's going to be a problem for me, not necessarily for you, depending on the ribbon that you picked out. I didn't realize that it's only got the pattern on one side. Why do I keep getting blurry? There we go. It's only got the pattern on one side. So I already did one section just to kind of play with it a little bit. So it looks nice. I just have to sort of fix it a little bit as I'm going along to make sure that the white doesn't show. So that's what I did so far. That's what it's going to look like. Okay, and I still...
mine's only one-sided too. Gosh darn it.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that when I ordered it, it was going to be one-sided. But
okay.
You can see, you can't even see the white.
Okay.
You can maybe see a little bit of it.
Okay.
But it's going to be okay.
All right.
But that's how it's going to look. And I don't even have one full section done. I have now. It's supposed to. You're supposed to have 8 strips per section, 8 pieces of ribbon. But I feel like it's going to take more because I like mine to be nice and full. So I kind of squished it over as far as it could go.
Christina.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you use 2.5-inch?
You know, I think you can, as long as it's not burlap. If it's burlap or a thick ribbon, I don't think it's going to work.
Okay.
And, you know, I think I put that in the class listing, that if you did buy 2.5 to try to get something else.
Yeah, I'll have this.
If it's a thicker ribbon and it's 2.5, it's not going to work.
Okay.
So, and like, again, I'll show you why it's not going to work. So,
Okay.
But this is what I have so far. And, you know, I'm going to keep pushing it over as I add more, just so it fills in any gaps. So because that's pretty, I thought, with that paisley ribbon. But this is how you do it. And it's just time consuming. It's easy, but it's time consuming. Now I want to actually give you another little tip that I did. And if you're making your wreath with me tonight, it's probably too late for you to do this, but I found as I was going along and I was doing it that my ends were fraying a little bit. This looks like it's actually like a grosgrain ribbon, if you look really close. If you guys are familiar with what a grosgrain is. But it tends to fray a little bit on the ends. So all I did, and again, if you're watching this and you haven't cut your ribbon yet, I just took a little bit of Mod Podge and a paintbrush, and I went over the edges just so it wouldn't fray. If you haven't done that already and you're planning on doing the wreath tonight like Cindy, don't panic. I think you're going to be okay. But this is just something that I noticed when I started. If you haven't made your wreath yet, Whoops, let me just get a bottle of water. I'm sorry, my gum fell out of my mouth. I'm like a mess tonight. What do they say in the South? I'm a hot mess. Well, let me get some water. Watch out, Claire. Go. You know what it is my kids aren't home tonight to watch my pets, so I'm hoping they're going to behave well while I'm doing this. Okay. It's easy. It's easier than it looks. All you're going to do is, I actually started, you're just going to tie your ribbon around your wire. You're going to make like bows. Now, you can see when I first started, I was tying it around 2 of the wires, but then I noticed it wasn't staying very well. So then I decided I was just going to tie it around 1. So here's what you do. You get your piece of ribbon, you kind of try to get it so you have even amounts on both sides. And let me see where I left off here.
How long?
Okay, I did put in the class listing 24 inches, so if you've already cut them at 24, that's fine. But I'm going to change that for people who haven't cut the ribbon yet, and I actually went back and I cut mine at 20 because I felt that 24 was a little bit too long.
Okay,
If you've already
I
cut your
didn't
ribbon at 24, don't panic. It'll be okay. You're just going to have slightly larger loops. It's fine. I just like my loops a little bit smaller. So all you're going to do is we're going to be using these 2 wires in the middle, okay? And all you're going to do, like I said, is try to get an even amount on both sides. And you're going to make like a bow. So you're going to go, let me try to get it so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. You're going to go up through these 2. So you're going up and around this wire here, okay? You're going to pull your loops through like this. And again, be careful as you're doing it. Just make sure that you have your tails the same. Like this one's a little bit longer, so I'm going to pull this through a little bit more. Because you want your ends to be even. So pull it through, up and around that bar. You're making your little loops, okay? And you're going to tie it. And this is why I said, Debbie, that 2.5 inch probably isn't going to work, because you actually have to tie it into a bow. Okay? So pull it through as much as you can and just tie it. And that's all you're doing, is you're just making a bunch of bows. Now, this is, again, where the time-consuming part is going to come in, because you kind of have to play with it a little bit, especially if, you know, you're like Cindy and I, and you have, or Stacy. Is it Stacy that has the one-sided ribbon like mine?
I have one-sided Cindy.
Cindy. So that's okay. But you're going to find that as you're making your bow, like see how that did that, you're going to have to twist it a little bit.
Okay.
To get that other side. But it's doable. You can see that I did it.
Right, right.
You can tell. But again, if you're like me and you're totally OCD and you like things to be perfect, this is going to take you a little while. And like I said, see how that tail is a little bit longer. You're going to maybe want to, you know, you may have to redo it and adjust it a little bit. I'll just pull that through maybe a little bit more. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you're just making a bow.
And that's all it is you leave the tails pulled up through like that after you tie it once?
Nope. What you do is you're going to fluff your little bow, your little bunny ears up here.
Yeah.
And push it over next to the other one.
All right.
And what I've been doing is just sort of folding that around a little bit.
Okay.
So it goes, you can leave them out like that. I think that would be pretty. If you can leave them out like that if you wanted to.
Okay.
But I've just sort of been like folding them under a little bit.
Okay. So you bring them through like you're doing a poof method, or what is that, gathering method on those?
It's almost like you're doing a ruffle.
Right. And then
pull it up like you're doing a ruffle, but instead you're tying it into a bow.
okay, and then you're just tying one knot into the bow, correct?
Yep.
Just one. Okay.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
And that's it. And you're going to find when you first start, it's going to be kind of weird and they're going to slide. Actually, it was sliding a lot more for me when I had it tied around the two. Like I had it tied around the two bottom ones and the two top ones, and it was just sliding. It seems to, I can get it tighter when it's just around the one. And then you just push it over.
Christina,
Yeah.
I didn't get how you got it on there. Could you do that?
Okay, that's fine. We're gonna keep doing it. So let's start again. So I actually did. We're gonna be using the two center bars to tie our bows around. Okay, not the bottom ones, or the bottom and the top one, I mean. So this one I just did was on the bottom, or the next to the bottom. So we're gonna go up and do one on the top now, right here. So just take your ribbon, and again, you know, it may take a little playing with if you're like me and you want everything to be the same size. Let me just show you over here where there's more room and you can see. That might make it a little bit easier. So I just kind of folded it in half to make sure that it was, to sort of give me my center point here. So here's this bar here, okay? We're just going to take a loop on each side of that bar and bring it through. We're going to be tying a bow right around that bar. Okay, this is where you kind of have to watch what you're doing here if you want your tails to be the same size. So kind of do that with your fingers and pull it up through to make sure that you have the same amount on your loops and on your tails. Okay, and I just kind of pinch it a little bit. I pinch it and then you just make a bow. Definitely ribbon that has the pattern or the color on both sides will be a lot easier for you. But I didn't realize when I ordered this that it was one-sided. But again, as you can see, I fluffed it and did what I needed to do and was able to hide that. So, and just mess with it a little bit and just make sure that make sure you pull these up, like, so they're not, like, don't leave them underneath like that, like this was underneath still. Pull it up so it's on top. You want it to be on top. So just to show you, we're just making a little hand-tied bow. And you can mess with it a little bit when you get it on there, and make sure that your loops are the same size. Okay, and then you just slide it over next to the other ones. And again, what I was telling Stacy or Cindy, you guys have such similar voices. What I did was once I pushed it over, I just kind of curled those under a little bit. What I was even thinking about doing was getting some hot glue and like gluing that to make another loop, but it stays. I mean, you know, once you get it all bunched in together and you just kind of curl it under like that, it does stay. Or you can leave them out. I mean, I don't think that would look bad either, but I just kind of curled them under a little bit, and then you just kind of push it over next to the other one. So did you get that then, Debbie? Does that make sense?
No, I'm still not getting it.
Okay. There's your wire. Okay, we're going to do this wire and this wire.
Okay.
Take your piece of ribbon, and the only reason I kind of fold it in half was just to make sure that when I'm pulling it through, I have, you know, an idea of I'm going to have the same amount. You know, I want my loops to be the same size. Okay, this is the wire that we're going to go around. Okay, we're going to tie our bow around that wire. So I just start on one side of it, doesn't matter. Pull one loop through and then another loop. Just pull the loops right through. It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to, you know, get used to doing it. Just pull your loops through. And again, make sure that, you know, it's the same, you know, you're not going to get one end longer than the other one. As you're pulling, just sort of like adjust it with your fingers to make sure that, and I'll show you in 1 second when I get it the right. So here we have 2 loops. These are going to be the loops of our bow. Okay?
Okay.
See how they're pulled around that wire? See how they're pulled around the 2 loops? Does that make sense? Debbie? Or no?
I'm sorry, I had myself muted.
That's okay. Does that make sense now?
Yes,
We
it
have the
does.
2 loops pulled up here.
Yes.
If you don't get it, I can do it again.
No,
So
I think I
you
got
can
it.
see how it's relatively even here now. I've got this even here. But it doesn't matter. You can adjust it once you make your bow too. And you just tie your bow. Like I said, I pinch it. I just pinch it. I'm just making like a little hand-tied bow. And you can let these come up on the top now, so they're not underneath, because you don't want them underneath. And just pull it as tight as you can. It's not going to rip. Fluff these up. And again, I just, like this one's a little bit longer, so I'll just pull that. Doesn't have to be like perfect. And then I just tuck these under, and then you just push it over. Now, it looks weird now because it's not pushed up next to the other ones, but you can see how when they're all pushed up next to each other, how it kind of fills it in. So that's really it. This is going to be a project, unless you're the type of person that has to finish something all in one sitting. I'm the type of person, when I know it's going to take me a while to do something, I'll do a little bit and then I'll walk away and come back to it. So it says 8 pieces of ribbon per section, but you know, you can use more or less depending on how full you want it to be. Does that make sense, Stacy? Are you getting that or no?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Mine is the 2.5 inch, but it's really thin, but I'm struggling with it a little bit, so I think I'm gonna watch and then get by 1.5 inch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put it quite a few times in the group that 1.5 inch is going to work a lot better than 2.5.
Yeah, I did. And I had this huge roll of 2.5 inch, and I thought I'd try it and see.
Yeah, I think you sent me that. I think you showed me that you had that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I got a really good deal on this ribbon, though. I'm going to go on this side so you can see. You can see that the Mod Podge sort of discolors the end of it just a little bit, but not bad. I did it on the opposite side. But it's not fraying at all. I'm not getting any pieces coming off at all.
Doing an online class. Doing an online class.
I got to call you back. I'm in a class. So again, I just pinch it.
I better stop while I'm trying. I've got an Etsy shop. I just paid too online. Oh God.
I'm excited to do a mesh wreath again. I can't remember the last time we did a mesh wreath. I missed my ruffles. I like doing ruffle wreaths. I love mesh ruffles. I don't like the poof. And the Mother's Day wreath on Friday is going to be so you can see I have my little bow. My little bow is all made. I'm happy with the size of my loops. Just make sure it's nice and tight. Then you can swoosh it over. Puff up your loops. You don't really have to do all your fluffing until you're done, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to find that when you have your section a little bit more full, that it'll be easier to go in and fluff. because you know they're like pushing against each other. It's going to be easier for them to. So don't really worry about fluffing it too much until you get your section full. The Mother's Day wreath is going to be a ruffle wreath using 21-inch mesh. I don't know if we've done a couple of classes like that before. I don't know if Cindy or Stacy, if you've been in one of those classes. Debbie might have seen that method before.
No, done any of them yet like that.
Oh, really? So you take your 21-inch mesh and you cut it into 10-inch pieces, and you make a ruffle out of it. You fold it and pinch it, and you sort of have a poof on one side and a ruffle on the other side. And it looks really nice, and it's really full.
Awesome.
You're going to love it, especially if you have a lot of 21-inch mesh and you don't know what to do with it. And the reason why it's nice is because it covers well, too. A lot of times I notice when I'm doing a poof with 21-inch mesh, I can always see the wreath frame, and I hate that.
Chris, could you take a second for me? It's Cindy, and just doing like the outer ring, not the inner ring, but the outer ring. I'm having a heck of a time on that. Like, start from the middle of the circle, 1, 2, that third ring before you get to the one on the outer side.
This one?
Yes, please.
So you weren't having a problem with the inner ring, but you're having a problem with the outer ring? Is that what you mean, or?
Yeah, yep. Because, I don't do well with pull-through method on anything, so.
All right. Just take your time.
Okay.
Not a race, like I tell everybody. It's all good. I'd have a glass of wine right now. All right, I usually go through, here's the bar.
Yep.
Go through this one first.
Okay.
Take my finger,
Uh-huh.
make another loop,
Okay, gotcha.
and go up around it. So you're
All
going up around that bar.
Okay.
And that's when I sort of try to like start adjusting it. Like you can see that piece is a lot longer. So
Okay.
I'll pull that up a little bit more to even it out.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So just keep pulling it until you get it even, relatively even. Then you have your 2 loops that you're going to tie right there around that second bar from the outside, because we're doing our bows on this bar on the outside here and this one. Whoops, I'm looking at the screen.
Yep, I got it now. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's kind of hard to tell because this is getting kind of full over here. And I'm trying to do it this way, but then I can't really see what I'm doing. Trying to get closer to the camera. One thing I noticed about the other paid groups is that they don't do any of this stuff. They just do the mesh wreaths. They don't do like, they might do grapevine, or I like to do different things. Just pull your loops through first. Get those through around your bar like that. And then you can fix your tails to make sure that they're the same. Just use both of your fingers to pull your loops through like that. And then I just kind of pinch it. And I'm thinking it probably doesn't even really need to be wired, because you're just tying it so tight that I think it'll hold its shape just because it's tied so tight. pull your little tails through here.
Christina,
Yeah.
you're going to show me again. I went to find some more ribbon.
Okay. Did you find some that would work?
Yes, I think.
Okay. What is it, 1.5?
Yeah, it's 1.5.
Okay. Let me just finish this piece right here because I've got like different lengths going on here. So make your bow, and then when you're happy with the size and the shape, and just kind of fluff out your poofs and your top part of your bow. And then push it over as tight as you can. And then, like I said, I just kind of fold these under a little bit. I don't think, like I said, you even necessarily need to do that. If you'd rather have them sticking out, I need to stand up because I can't see. I'm just trying to hide the white. Is really what I'm doing. It really doesn't even look that bad with some of the white showing through. I just don't want the wreath form to show through.
That ribbon is so pretty.
Isn't it pretty?
It's gorgeous.
Because it was weird because on the listing on eBay, she listed it as 1.5, but then she showed on the, I think what she did was she accidentally had the wrong spool in the other picture, and the spool was pictured next to it. It said 2.5. So I said, is this 1.5 or is it 2.5? And she says, no. She goes, I posted the wrong picture of the spool. It's 1.5. So, because I wasn't, that's kind of why I think it was late arriving, because she didn't answer me right away, and I didn't want to order it until I was sure that it was 1.5. So that's why I didn't get it in time for whenever it was Thursday. I think I was supposed to have this class. Okay. Did you cut any pieces yet, Debbie, or?
Yes.
Okay. So like I said, I just start by just sort of, folding it to make sure that it's even. You can start on this one or you can start on this one. It doesn't really matter. Just go through like that with your first loop. Okay. And just take your finger and push up another loop. So then you have 2 loops around that bar.
Okay.
Okay, and this is where you're going to want to like fix that, because obviously that's not going to work. You just kind of play with it a little bit. You have to pull up this side a little bit more, because you want these tails to be the same size. And that's where you can kind of adjust it. Once you get your loops through like that, then you can play with it a little bit to make sure that it's even. So I usually leave about, I don't know, was that maybe 2 inches, like that.
Okay.
And then you have your little bunny ears, and I just sort of pinch them at the bottom and just tie it. Is this one-sided ribbon or is it 2-sided, Debbie?
One-sided.
Yeah, so you're going to have to play with it a little bit, but as you can see, it works. You can, so once you tie it good and tight, just kind of mess with it a little bit to get your non-printed side facing down. Make your loops a little bit bigger, like this one's kind of small. This is why I said it's a little bit time consuming. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but sometimes I see an idea and I think that's really pretty, and then I don't realize, like, why isn't my loop moving here? Let's start that over again, but you get that. So, and that's that. This one's getting pretty tight. I'm trying to think how many pieces. I don't really count how many pieces there are. I think there's going to be more than 8. Like I said, you can see here I started by tying them around 2 bars, but then they kept sliding. So then I went to the 1 bar. They didn't slide as much with the tying it around the one bar. So yeah, I knew they had a kid upstairs. I thought I heard little feet running around. Something just fell. Huh. I'm nosy. I'm a nosy neighbor. I'm trying to see who else has joined us here. Lori's here. I didn't see Lori come in. Hi, Lori.
Hey, Christina, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Pretty good. Just tired.
Did you get any of this, or do you need? Are you like kind of watching what we're doing?
I'm just kind of watching. Right now, I've got to get the ribbon and that stuff to do it. So I'm just
Okay.
watching, and I'll do it.
And you got what we were saying about how the 1.5 inches is better because we're making bows, and I think it'd be kind of hard to make it out of the 2.5 inch. So I want you guys to be able to see, but then I can't see what I'm doing when I turn it around like this. I'm trying to make my loops so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I can't wait to start doing mesh ruffles again. I'm not gonna lie. Although the tulip wreath was fun. That bobo burlap was a lot of work though too. I didn't even finish that one yet. So just kind of pull your loops up through. They're more or less the same size. I was even thinking about making my bow before, like not on the wreath form, and then zip tying it to the wreath form. I tried that too. It seems like when you get closer and you get your section kind of tight like this, it's harder to make your bow because it's so squished. Yeah, this is something that we're probably not going to finish tonight, but Jamie's not here. Jamie was really looking forward to this class. I think Jamie said she was having company for dinner, so she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make it. So I'm just sort of like adjusting it so they're more or less the same size. This one's a little bit longer than the other one. I'm not going to really worry about it. Once they get all squished together, you're not really going to be able to see if one tail is a little bit longer. And just fluff that up. If that one's so short, I could probably just like leave it like that. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. And just kind of push it over. If you look at that image of the wreath that I posted, you can see that there's little knots in there. You can see that they were tying bows. So and that's it. This is one of those things where it'd be fun to, sit in front of the TV and kind of watch a movie and just tie your bows, sort of like the rag wreath. That's one thing we never did in class was the rag wreath. I think I had one scheduled, but I don't know what happened, but we never got around to doing it. Has anybody ever done a rag wreath before? You just cut strips of fabric and you just tie those to the wreath form. You don't make bows though. You actually just tie strips of the ribbon around the wreath form. So that's another one that's fun to do, but it's kind of time consuming. But that looks pretty though. I like the way that that looks. And you take your time, you fluff it, you know, when you're all done. This is pretty tightly packed over here because I've been pushing it over. And I still have some room here to put a couple of more. You don't have to make it that tight if you don't want to. But I feel like it'll hold my little pieces better if it's tighter. I don't think Jamie could make it, so let's just go back up to the, where did I do this last one? I did this one on the top, so I'm going to do this one. No, this was on the bottom. This one will go on the top now. And it's getting kind of squished over here, so it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see, but I think you've got the idea. Whoops. Sort of like a pull through, but you're making a bow. I wanted to tell you guys, if any of you, Laura, did you order the flower kit, the poly burlap flower kit yet, or no? Are you going to be doing that one?
I haven't ordered it yet. I'm still debating on it.
Okay, I wanted to let you guys know that I was talking to my supplier today, and what comes in the kit, there's actually enough of the green for the leaves and the black for the center to make 2 flowers. She's giving everybody the option to order an extra roll of the colored burlap for the petals, but for some reason she's got some sort of a website glitch that when people have been trying to order the extra roll, it's adding it to the order, but it's not charging them for it, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing. But she said that she's working on fixing that. You can go ahead and order the kit, and if you want the extra roll of burlap, just go ahead and click on it to order it, and then she may have to just invoice you separately, which I don't know, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but she's working on that to try to fix that. So have you ever worked with poly burlap before, Lori?
No, and I think I just ordered that kit today.
Oh, my battery's running low. You did order it today?
Yes, I ordered it this afternoon.
Did you order it in the purple, or what color are you gonna get?
I think I did the light blue, and I ordered an extra cranberry.
Oh, nice. So that's what's probably going to happen. She's probably going to, if it didn't add to your order, like if it didn't charge you for it, she's probably going to invoice you separately for that. So just keep an eye on that. And I apologize for that. I think she's on vacation now. She said she was going to be out of the office for like a week, but she's been answering my texts. She's super, super nice. She's really accommodating. She really wants to help us out with kits, and she's coming up with these really cool ideas. I think she's got a beach wreath that she wants to do, and you know, her prices are really reasonable. So just double check and see if you were charged for that extra roll. The cranberry one's going to be pretty. I got myself a turquoise. I got the dark turquoise, I think it was. So I think I'm just going to be able to put maybe 2 more strips here, and I'm going to be done with this section because it's getting pretty full. And you'll notice as you're going along and it does get tighter, you'll be able to fluff these, and they'll stay together. So you're not going to see any gaps or anything like that. You know, I see a little bit of the white from the other side of my ribbon, but it doesn't look too bad. It's not bothering me. What about the butterfly kits? Has anybody seen the butterfly kits? I actually have 2 of those. So I think what I was going to do is I was going to make one ahead of time just so you could see how pretty it looks when it's made. Again, you don't have to buy the kits to participate in the class. You know, I'll be posting supply lists like I always do. But I know there were a lot of people that, you know, have a hard time picking out ribbons. They want the convenience of a kit, which is really why I decided to do this. So I had this one woman send me a really nasty message, though. I was very put off by this. She was a new member. I think she joined in February, and she wasn't paying. You know, and I just have the requirement of one class a month. That's really all that I expect that you purchase. You can buy more if you want to, but she was saying that she wasn't working and she couldn't afford. And you know, I'm not going to kick people out. It's like I try to work with people, you know. And then all of a sudden, I have to approve all the posts in the group. And then all of a sudden, she's trying to post this thing that says, Christina is ripping you guys off. I can buy stuff from these kits at the Dollar Tree. You know, she's overcharging you. And I was like, wait a minute. First of all, they're not buying them from me. Second of all, I let you stay in the group. I felt sorry for you. You know, I'm trying to work with you, and now you're trying to make me look like I'm a thief or I'm ripping people off. I was really put off by that. So there's just crazy people in the world. I was
She's
going to
never
do the
compared
kids.
Dollar Tree with what we get in those kits either.
What's that?
I said she's never compared Dollar Tree with
Exactly.
the stuff we get in these kits either.
Right. Like you're going to get 10-inch mesh at Dollar Tree?
No, it's 6-inch, if that.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Jeez. And this woman approached me, this woman, Shelley, from Shelley B. Home Design or Home Decor. She approached me, and, you know, and it was really when I was struggling with, I wanted to be able to offer kits to you guys, and I was going to try to do it myself through Craft Outlet, but that just turned into a big mess because they're just so busy. They get so much business that, you know, they really weren't willing to work with me. They weren't giving me any sort of a discount, and it got to be too crazy. And then I would have had to have all the stuff shipped to me first and then resend it out to anybody that ordered the kit. And I just, you know, I thought, let me try to find somebody that I could work with. I don't think I'll ever be up at the same level as Damon. I think Damon does 800 kits a month, which is absolutely crazy to me. I don't know how he does that. I think he actually has employees that help him. But I respect him for what he's doing. I think he puts way too much ribbon on his wreaths because I like to be able to see my mesh. That's all I'm going to say about that. I love Damon, though. I do. He's nice. I like the fact that he's all for rescue dogs and all that kind of stuff. But I've had a couple people tell me that they left his group just because they don't get any personalized attention. I mean, how could they? The group is so big. But when I started doing my paid group back in July of last year, now why isn't this happened to me before, why isn't this one loop moving? It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like stuck. We'll just do it over again. I'm like out of it today. It must be a full moon. I can't remember what I'm saying. When I first started my paid group, there we go. And July of last year, there was really only 3 other people doing it. And now it seems like everybody under the sun has decided they want to start a paid group. Some of them are expensive though too, like $30 a month. Somebody just started one, and I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm just making my bow here. That's expensive to me. So this new thing that I'm doing now, you know, if you bought the promotion, I'm letting people upgrade and just pay the difference, and then I'm just going to give you unlimited classes for the rest of the year. It's a crazy good deal. It's a really, really good deal. It's less than like $12 a month, I think. And you can get past classes too. I'm not, if you see any past classes that you haven't gotten that you want to get, I'll let you have those too. So just push it over. I think this section is pretty much done. Again, once you get all your pieces on, you'll be able to fluff. But if you're like me, this is going to be one of those projects you're going to want to work on for a little while and walk away and come back. I think I might put one more on there, because I still have a little bit of room. And this was a 50-yard roll of ribbon. I have a lot of ribbon on here. How's yours looking, Debbie? Are you doing it, or are you just kind of watching?
No, I'm kind of watching now. I haven't got not one piece on.
That's all right. Are you still struggling with figuring out how to do it, or?
Yeah.
Aw. I'm sorry.
I'll just watch it again.
You think you'll be able to get it afterwards? I hope so. I feel bad.
Yeah, after I watch it a few times.
A lot of times, it's easier when you're just doing it on your own. And, you can sit back and you have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and, just kind of go at your own pace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm just a little bit OCD. I like them to be perfect. So I'll be messing with that for a little while. But I think I have room to put maybe one more piece. You can kind of fluff it with your hands, but that's going to look really pretty when it's done. And this is something that, just want to add a little sign. If you have a plain colored ribbon like the one in the picture, you can just add, a sign or a bow or another bow. I mean, I think it'd be kind of weird to add a bow on top of ribbon, but some people put bows on everything. You can see the white a little bit, but not bad. So that's a little bit loose there, so I feel like I want to add one more piece over there. It's so quiet here with my kids not here. I'm glad my doggie is sleeping. Let's see. It's kind of tight over here. I wish you guys could see, but I'm going to be moving to another section in a minute here, so it'll be easier for you to see what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't like drama. It's just, there was just so much going on, and there was a post in the group about somebody having trouble with a supplier they bought stuff from, and they didn't get their order, and I'm not quite sure what we can do about that, though. I mean, we're aware of this person and she's not delivering on her orders, but, we don't really like to have those kind of posts in the group because they do cause a lot of drama.
Well, plus it's a non-selling group, so you know what I mean? Why is it?
Yeah.
And we're supposed to instant message people or whatever you call it, but still, it just makes hardships all the way around.
Well, this has been a situation that's ongoing with the supplier. She just started her business, I think, in January. She hasn't been delivering, and then when somebody asks for a refund, she'll block them, and it's.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
She knows.
Yeah, I got it, 110%. Yep.
Did you buy from her?
Well, I remember I had messaged you about what to do because I was unsure of it, and I actually joined her group because she got people from different wreathing groups to buy supplies from her, and I ordered way back in January and paid for some wreath kits and lost sales because of it. And I'm just talking about like the stuffed animal parts and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I messaged you about it. Yeah.
I remember that. So people are still having an issue with her.
Really? That's terrible.
And I had actually messaged her and asked her about it, and she insisted that she wasn't doing anything wrong and that, I don't know, it was just, just a mess. But then why block somebody if you say you're going to give them a refund?
Yeah,
What are you blocking them for?
right, exactly.
There was
Yeah.
another woman too that a lot of people had a problem with, and it was the other way around. She was buying stuff from people and using stolen credit cards.
Oh my goodness.
It was actually like her mom's credit card.
Oh gosh.
And because she was, she was like in her 40s or 50s or whatever, and her grandmother or her mother was, old and, entrusted her daughter, and she was taking her credit card and just racking up all these sales on craft supplies and things, and then she would dispute the charges in
Oh my-
PayPal. Yeah.
That's
She actually did it to me. She was in the paid group. And all of a sudden she bought like the special, and then all of a sudden a couple of months later the charge came off. Like I got, debited for it, and it said it was being disputed. I don't know what is wrong with this one bow. It's not, I'm like struggling with it. I keep trying to pull my but anyway, it was like disputed, and what the heck, man. And then all of a sudden, all these stories start coming out. Like she kept telling me she had to go to her bank, and it wasn't her fault, and blah blah blah. And she was just lying.
Yeah.
She's in jail now, actually.
Well, I didn't post it on our group. That's why I was frustrated beyond, and it had nothing to do with Wreath group. That's why I was fit to be tied. I'm like, well, I'm going to reach out to Christina and see what she thinks. If she's had any doings with this person, or, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
The thing of it is that we want to be able to protect people. We want to be able to help people and warn them, but we have to be very careful.
Yeah.
To do it, and this is another reason why we have the admin group. We can kind of all, bounce ideas off each other and get suggestions and stuff. And I'm sure that my chat is blowing up right now because this is all we've been talking about. It's this other lady who, we're having an issue with. It's just, I don't want to name any names, but it's bad. She kind of stole somebody's picture and used it on her website and said it was hers. And when the lady approached her about it, instead of just saying, I'm sorry, I'll take it down, because it was very clearly hers, there was just no way around it. She just fought with her about it, and it was embarrassing. Anyway, drama. I don't like it. So I'm trying to turn this around so you guys can see what I'm doing, but I'm pretty much done with this section here. And I'm just kind of fluffing it a little bit. Like I said, I was contemplating maybe getting a little bit of hot glue for the tails so they stay in place, but I'm just like folding them under. That's really all I'm doing, and they're staying. Let me stand up a little bit so I can see. If you have the wherewithal to sit and do this all in one night, God bless you. But if you're like me, you can do a little bit and walk away. It's kind of like a shelf liner wreath. Cindy, you know about a shelf liner wreath. I could never sit down and do a whole shelf liner wreath in one sitting.
No, I can't either. It breaks it up throughout the day. Yep.
I still didn't finish that one that was like yours. Where is it?
No.
It's still sitting here. I got one section done.
I actually ended up selling that.
You did?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Did I ever show you this shelf liner wreath, Cindy? Hold on a second. This one I really need to finish. I bought this wine-colored shelf liner online, and I actually bought, like, you don't think you can use this type of shelf liner?
Ooh, pretty.
Like, did you ever see the shelf liner that's got the pattern on it like that?
I've seen it, but I didn't think you could use it.
Oh,
That's
you
pretty.
can use that. You just got to be careful because it is one-sided
Okay,
and it's a little bit thicker. Like this is thick too, this wine colored. I just have
right.
to finish that one little. Doesn't that look pretty?
That is pretty.
You have to be careful with how you attach it though. I think I had it attached the other way and it didn't look right. It looks better when the pattern is on the inside instead of the
Okay. I like
So,
that. That's pretty.
Thank you.
I like that one too. It's very pretty.
Thank you. Who was that? Who's
Hey, Lori.
Lori, okay. I'm gonna learn your voices, don't worry. I'll learn them. So I think I probably could put another one in the bottom here. But I don't know if I'm going to. It seems like it's pretty full. And like I said, once you get your section done and then, then you can kind of reach in and pull your little bubbles out or your poofs or whatever you want to call them. And see that, Cindy, or is it Cindy? Are you the one that had the one-sided? I'm so out of it tonight.
Yeah, mine's not doing too bad. Mine's more of a satiny ribbon.
Yeah, I saw yours.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. It's coming along. But I keep wanting to play with the bobbles before the bow part before I need to just get a bunch of them done and then go back and pull them out.
Yeah. Yep, you're like me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look too bad. You really can't see the white.
No, it looks pretty. I like your ribbon. It's nice.
Oh, thank you. I think I'm done with that one section. I think I'm going to call it a day with that one. Don't ask me how many I put because I really don't know. I'm sorry. Just put as many in as until it gets as full as you want it to be. How's that? Yeah. That'll be pretty when it's done.
Now let me ask you, are your bows going all one way or am I being OCD and I'm like, my bows are all facing like coming around it? You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea. I just kind of squish it over.
Okay.
I don't really know which way they're going.
All right. Okay. All right.
So let's start in another section. I think I'm gonna, do I want to start? Yeah, I'll just start right next to it here, but we're gonna have more of an open space. So for anybody who still doesn't quite get it, just kind of fold your ribbon in half. Again, I cut mine at 20 inches. I know I put in the supply list in prop 24, and that will probably still work too, but I just discovered that I wanted my bows a little bit smaller. Just kind of fold it in half. You can start in this ring or you can start in this ring. It really doesn't matter. Just kind of push it through to start your one loop and then get your other loop through around the other side. And that's when you can sort of start messing with it to make sure that your ends are even, because right now they're obviously not even. And like I said, I leave maybe like 2 inches. Like 2 inches here. Just pinch it just because it makes it easier to tie it. Yeah, I think your ribbon looked like it was a little bit thinner than mine too, Cindy.
I don't know. It says it's 1.5.
I mean thinner, like this is like a thicker ribbon.
Oh yeah,
Like-
mine's like a sheer almost. You mean you
Yeah.
can't do it, but yeah, like a satin or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And this is like a gross grain. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit thicker. It's working, but I feel like maybe a satiny ribbon like yours would do better.
Now my brain's wondering how my ends would look if I dovetailed them. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking about that too. And
Yeah,
then maybe if you dovetailed them, you wouldn't really need to fold them under.
exactly.
Yeah. That's a
And
good
then-
idea too.
Yeah, and then you could have your dovetails. They'd be going in every different direction. You know what I mean? It'd add
And
more
they be like
character.
sticking out
Yeah.
instead of, yep. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. I was thinking about that too. That would be a nice look.
Yeah.
So once you have your little bow and you're happy with it, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're like me, you're going to want to try to get it to be perfect, or Cindy. And there's your little bow. And then you just sort of push it over. Now what Cindy was saying is to dovetail these little ends here and just leave them sticking out. And that might add, you know, and you can even leave these sticking out if you want, you know, but like with me, I feel like because it's one-sided, it might look weird, I don't know. So I'm just gonna tuck it under like I have been doing. But try that, Cindy, that might be cute. And then fluff these up.
You know what would be really cute too is sorry to keep talking, but
It's all right, it's what we're here for.
I showed this to my husband. I think it would be pretty with, like, if you could get a pattern and then another color ribbon and then like alternate
Definitely.
different
Yeah.
colors in it. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Does your husband like to watch you make wreaths? Cindy? I hope my animals are okay. They're being kind of quiet in there. I'm a little worried.
He likes to see the finished product or he'll come out, but he pretty much just lets me do my own thing. God love him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. My daughter's really not into the wreathing. I mean, she likes to do calligraphy and stuff like that, but she doesn't have the time. She doesn't enjoy sitting here just doing the wreath. No.
It's not therapy for her like it is for us.
No. No.
It is so quiet here with my kids gone. I can't even tell you. My daughter we have a casino here in upstate New York. If you guys, I don't know who's close to upstate New York or anybody who's close to New York State, but it's called Turning Stone Casino. And it's on Indian land, so I guess they can have a casino and whatever. It's okay for them to do that. So my daughter likes to go with, actually, my sister-in-law. They like to gamble. They don't go crazy, you know. They don't, you know, they know when to stop. And then my son had a dinner meeting for his with his employer. So very quiet here tonight. Thank goodness my dog is behaving. Again, you know, I even experimented with making my bow separately, like not on the wreath form, and just tying it like that. And then I used a zip tie and I just tied it around the middle and attached it to the wreath form. You could try to do that too. If it's uncomfortable for you or if it's weird for you, Debbie, or anybody, tying your bow around the wreath form, try it like that. Just tie it off of the wreath form, make your little bow like that, and then get a zip tie and just go around the middle and then attach it to your wreath form. If that would be easier for you. You're gonna get the same look. So, and I just kind of folded those under. Just squish it over. And that's really it. All right, I'm bored. Time to go. No. I have a very short attention span. I like wreaths. These are nice, but I like wreaths where there's different components. That's why I like the, you know, the mesh wreaths. And you add ribbon, and you add your mesh, and you add your ribbon, and you add your embellishments. But it's nice to do different stuff. I like to do different stuff. I like to learn different things. And I bet you there's going to be a million messages in my inbox when I go to check. curious. I want to take a look and see if there's any exciting drama happening. All right, Shelley B. Home and Holiday says, I think it's been corrected, so sorry about this. Tech is the nightmare of modern day business. So apparently it's been corrected, Lori. I know you already ordered yours, but if you order the poly burlap kit and you want to get an extra roll, it should be okay. It should be okay now. Oh, that one came out nice. Look at that. Oh, it's like perfect. So it's actually better to fluff and then push it over. Get it the way you want it and then squish it over. How's everybody doing? Are you getting tired of making bows? I don't know why I feel so funky tonight. Just a really weird mood today. I went to the gym. I had a really good workout. I'm so excited that I've been going back to the gym again. I'm so proud of myself. I was really getting out of shape just from sitting all day, and I just feel good now when I go to the gym. Oh my gosh, I went to the Dollar Tree. My daughter says he was just joking around, but I don't know. And there was this kid there, and I say kid because he looked to me like he was 18 years old. And so I'm going to be 53 next month, okay? So I'm cashing out, and hold on, my laptop's falling over. It's getting blurry. So I'm cashing out, and he's like standing there by the register. He wasn't ringing me up. This other girl was ringing me up. And he was standing, why is my laptop not staying? He was standing there, and all of a sudden, he's like, Miss, I like your hair. And I was like, what? I just got done at the gym, but I was just like, what? And I'm like, okay, thanks. And he goes, do you want to be my 2 for $25 at Applebee's? I was just started laughing. I was like, what? That was a line if I ever heard one. Do you want to be my 2 for $25? And I said, do you know how old I am? He goes, it doesn't matter. I said, I'm probably twice your age. And then my daughter's like, Mom, I'm sure he was just goofing around in front of the cashier. I'm like, all right, whatever. Anyway. You know what, you guys? I think I'm going to wrap it up because this is going to take us forever. Does everybody kind of get the hang of it? I mean, I knew we weren't going to be able to finish in class, but I think you kind of get the hang of what we're doing here. What do you think? Did I lose everybody?
No, I'm here.
I love it.
What do you think if we wrap it up? Because I don't think we're going to be able to finish this.
That sounds good. I can follow the instructions once you send the video.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing over and over again. You're just going to keep making your little bows and pushing them over. And then when you're done, when your section is, as full as you would like it to be, and you can't see your wreath form and you're happy with how it looks, and you just move on to the next section. And that's really all there is.
I've got it.
That's really all there is to it. And you can see, oops, like you can see some of my white, but I'm not worried about it. So if you are going to go out and you're going to buy ribbon, you might want to make sure that you get ribbon that's, double-sided and it has a pattern or it's a solid on both sides. But You know, if you do happen to have one already, like me and Cindy do, that has, you know, it's one-sided, you can, you know, play with it a little bit. And, you know, if you get it tight enough, you won't be able to see that white on the other side. So, I mean, that'll look nice when it's done. I really like that pattern. I'm glad I bought this ribbon. I'm glad I bought this paisley ribbon. So, but the next class is Friday night. It's a Mother's Day wreath. I'm very excited about that one. I hope you guys are going to be able to join me. I want to show you what I'm going to use. Actually, I want to show you a couple cute things I got today. This is mesh I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. I think you got some of this too, Cindy. This is that basket weave mesh.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm going to be using this pink basket weave mesh in the Mother's Day wreath. And I also have a lilac. And we're going to be cutting this into 10-inch pieces. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how we're going to do it because it's a surprise. But we're going to make a ruffle out of it. It's not going to be a poof. It's going to sort of be a poof. It's going to be a poof and a ruffle, and you'll see. But it really makes a nice full wreath. I'm trying to think what wreaths I've made so far with that method. I think I made my Halloween wreath last year, a Halloween wreath using that method. And I think I did a Christmas wreath one too. I can't remember. But I want to show you the cute stuff I got today. I don't know if you saw the picture that I posted. But these flowers are going to be perfect for the Mother's Day wreath. And this, I don't even know what this is. It's sort of like a, I think it's like a hydrangea, but it's sort of like a very light, like a light green, like a pale, it is a hydrangea, it says right on there. And I got these peonies, which I thought were really pretty. And then these, which are, I guess these are asters. I never knew that's what those were called, but aren't those pretty? I probably won't use them all, but those are going to go in the Mother's Day wreath. And then Dollar Tree had some really cute signs. They're starting to put their summer signs out. And this is like a little drink sign. Isn't that cute?
Super cute.
And then I've seen this before in a wreath. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And then I got a pineapple. Can you see that? Isn't that cute?
Those are cute.
I don't know where I'm going to put all these wreaths that I'm going to make. I really need to get my Etsy shop opened. Can you guys believe I really don't sell that much because I've just been so busy with classes? I really don't sell as much as I probably should. I've just been too busy with classes. I think that's going to change because I'm really running out of room. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to work on this a little bit more. If you have any questions, just, message me in the group. 1.5-inch ribbon for sure. I apologize for the confusion about this wreath. I really don't even think that that's burlap ribbon that she used in the wreath in the picture. It just doesn't, burlap is just too thick. It's too thick for this method. It really is. Even if you get a 1.5-inch burlap, I think it's still going to be too thick. You're better off using a satin 1.5, or this is sort of like a gross grain, but it's wired and it's a little bit thicker, but it still works. So that's it. So good night, everybody.
Night.
Thanks for being here tonight, and we'll talk to you in the group.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Debbie. Good night, Lori. Oh, did I shut
Good night, Christina.
Good night. Talk tomorrow. Bye-bye.